Since our thoughts, our thought patterns, and our beliefs create our life experiences, it becomes important to recognize when our thinking becomes distorted. This series explores the terms and thought patterns from Section 6 of our Spiritual Nutrition. By learning to recognize these patterns within ourselves, and by realigning our thinking with divine truth, we can begin to stop repeating the learned patterns that create negative outcomes. And gradually, we begin to experience greater peace in our lives. In this video, we will explore 6 related terms and thought patterns from Section 6: Universal Truth, Distrust, Seeking Truth and Understanding, Discerning Truth, Trust, and Faith. This group of thought patterns explores how we move from distrust and confusion toward trust and faith by consciously seeking truth and understanding. As we learn to discern truth from false beliefs, trust begins to develop through experience and reflection. This process highlights the spiritual law of free will and personal agency, the companionship of our spiritual guides, and the importance of choosing to follow guidance when it aligns with universal truth. As we begin to act on this guidance, chaotic thoughts of fear and worry gradually decrease, while trust deepens and faith grows. One, distrust. I doubt. Core pattern. Distrust reflects a lack of faith or confidence in ourselves, in others, or in divine guidance. There is a fine line between trust and distrust. Too much trust in the goodwill of others can sometimes lead to disappointment or disillusionment. And when we rely too heavily on the goodness of others without discernment, we may even place ourselves in harm's way. At the same time, chronic distrust can isolate us. It can prevent us from learning to work together toward common goals, and can lead us to feel persecuted or unsafe. Distrust may also arise from a blanket condemnation of humanity. Often, it develops from past experiences, unmet expectations, or belief systems formed in environments where safety or reliability felt uncertain. The underlying thoughts may sound like, "I cannot rely on this," "something is unsafe," "something is unreliable." Distrust can protect us from harm, but when it becomes habitual, it blocks openness to truth, guidance, and learning. How it manifests. Distrust may appear as doubting guidance or intuition, assuming hidden motives or danger, difficulty relying on others, overanalyzing decisions from fear of being wrong, resistance to vulnerability or openness. Sounds like, "I just know I'll be the one to get hurt." "Everyone is out for themselves." "I don't trust this." "Something feels off, but I don't know why." "I can only rely on myself." "I don't believe guidance is real." "What if this goes wrong?" Spiritual effects. Distrust can lead to unsatisfying relationships, prejudice or contempt, legacy resentment, paranoia, jealousy, the tendency to blame others for misfortune, feeling like a victim. It may also create disconnection from guidance, isolation and guardedness, difficulty receiving support. Physical effects. Distrust has been associated with severe allergic reactions, hoarding behaviors. Origin of the pattern. Distrust often develops in environments where promises were broken, authority was misused, safety felt inconsistent, vulnerability resulted in pain. The child may learn the belief, "Trust is dangerous." Changing the pattern. Healing begins by recognizing the pattern of distrust. Meditate to learn the source of the need to live in fear or isolation. Identify the thought pattern, distrust. Explore whether the current situation truly reflects danger or whether it reflects past conditioning. Ask your guide to help reveal where distrust first began. Practice openness without abandoning discernment. Healing involves remembering. Discernment protects me. I do not need distrust to survive. 2. Seeking truth and understanding. I want to learn. Core pattern. Seeking truth begins when curiosity replaces certainty. Rather than assuming we already know the answer, we begin asking, what is actually true here? What belief might be influencing my reaction? Being willing to confront universal truth about ourselves, our experiences, and our belief systems can eventually lead to deeper understanding. This understanding allows us to release the past fully and with love. When resentment is present, we may feel justified in avoiding understanding another person's motives. Yet often, people are not even aware they have caused harm. This is one reason forgiveness becomes so important. Seeking truth opens the door to growth. How it manifests: building a working relationship with our guide, asking questions and listening for answers, openness to learning, willingness to examine beliefs, curiosity about our inner reactions. Sounds like, what belief might be underneath this? This is an opportunity to practice seeking guidance. What is really happening here? Let me look deeper before reacting. I want to understand. Spiritual effects. Seeking truth often leads to increased awareness, greater humility, openness to new understanding. Origin of the pattern. This pattern develops when we begin recognizing that our beliefs influence our experiences. Over time, we realize that some beliefs may be distorted or not aligned with divine truth. When this happens, unnecessary suffering and less than ideal results can appear in our lives. Seeking truth grows stronger through reflection, study, and sincere spiritual curiosity. Living the pattern. Ask questions instead of assuming answers. Reflect on reactions and beliefs. Observe thoughts and the thought patterns behind them. Seek guidance from your guide and universal intelligence. Remain open to learning. There are always more layers to uncover and more freedom to discover. 3. Discerning truth. I recognize what is true. Core pattern. Discernment is the ability to distinguish between truth and belief, guidance and fear, clarity and emotional reaction. Accurate information provides the solid foundation upon which we base our choices. Decisions made on false information are like building a house on sand. Discernment allows us to evaluate information carefully before reacting automatically. Truth enables us to resist manipulation from people with hidden motives. Discernment does not judge or condemn. It simply recognizes what aligns with truth. How it manifests. Calm evaluation of situations. Awareness of emotional triggers. The ability to pause before reacting. Recognition of patterns in thoughts or behavior. Sounds like, this reaction feels familiar. What belief is underneath? This feels calm and clear. This thought seems rooted in fear. Let me pause and ask my guide for divine truth. Spiritual effects. Increased clarity, better decision-making, greater confidence in self and guidance, stronger connection with guidance. Living the pattern. Discernment develops through practice. It begins by learning to pause, seek guidance, and observe our thoughts and thought patterns. Over time, discernment deepens through experience and reflection. As distorted beliefs are recognized and realigned with truth, clarity becomes more natural. 4. Trust. I believe the core pattern. Trust grows as we begin recognizing patterns of guidance in our lives. It reflects confidence that truth can be recognized and followed. Trust grows through experience. At its core, trust remembers that our Creator loves us unconditionally. Every experience is part of our learning. Each situation helps us learn to love ourselves and others more deeply. How it manifests. Confidence in personal growth. Openness to guidance. Calmness in uncertain situations. Reduced fear of mistakes. Sounds like, I trust the process. I believe I will understand this in time. I trust that guidance is available. Spiritual effects, greater peace, increased openness, stronger connection to guidance. Living the pattern. Trust grows as repeated experiences show that guidance can be relied upon. Reflect on past experiences of guidance. Notice how truth often becomes clearer over time. Allow uncertainty without fear. 5. Faith, I know. Core pattern. Faith is trust that has become stable and deeply rooted. It is the deep knowing that we are loved unconditionally and accompanied by our Creator. Faith allows our core belief systems to rest on a strong foundation of self-worth. It reminds us that our earthly parents are simply the vehicle through which we enter life. We are children of the universe always. Faith does not require proof. It arises from understanding. How it manifests: calm confidence during uncertainty, patience during challenges, consistent alignment with truth and guidance. Sounds like, I know this will unfold as it should. I trust the guidance I received. Even if I do not understand yet, I trust truth. Spiritual effects: deep inner peace, reduced fear and worry, strong connection to divine guidance. Living the pattern. Faith develops as trust is repeatedly confirmed through experience. Continue seeking truth. Practice discernment regularly. Act on guidance received through reflection or meditation. 6. Universal truth. Universal truth refers to principles that remain true, regardless of personal beliefs or opinions. These truths align with wisdom, unconditional love, spiritual growth, and universal intelligence. As we seek truth, discern clearly, and follow guidance, our beliefs gradually align with universal truth. As the Buddha once said, 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Final notes. These patterns are deeply connected. The journey often unfolds like this. Distrust leads us to begin seeking truth. Seeking truth develops our ability for discernment. Discernment builds trust. Trust deepens into faith, and faith allows our beliefs to align with universal truth. This sequence describes the evolution of spiritual awareness. Distrust begins with uncertainty. Seeking truth invites curiosity. Discernment creates clarity. Trust builds confidence. Faith stabilizes understanding. And through this process, our beliefs gradually align with universal truth. The healing truth. Distrust protects us but can limit growth. Seeking truth opens the door to understanding. Discernment clarifies perception. Trust develops through experience. Faith brings peace and stability. Universal truth restores alignment. When our beliefs align with truth, confusion diminishes, and greater clarity, peace, and wisdom become possible. Key insight: belief systems can sometimes block access to truth or guidance. If we assume we already know the answer, or if we become attached to a belief, we may unknowingly prevent new understanding. This is why the process begins with curiosity and discernment. From there, trust grows, faith develops, and our lives gradually align with truth.